So in this tutorial, we're going to walk you through what's the best dashboard view for a student. So by default, it actually gives you one that's called Card View, where it has all of these course cards. And you have some functionality with those course cards. So for example, you can do what they call a color overlay, and you can decide what color to lay over it. So that'll also affect the calendar and how you would see that. You also have the ability to give it a nickname. Right, so if you wanted to name your course based on the periods that you have them, you can do that. Right, you could put the time in, and that would just apply for you, but that's what you would see in your list and all of the areas in which it's referring to that course. Now, one of the other things that you can do, and most students enjoy, is list view. With list view, you end up getting a planner view, and so it takes you each day and then shows you what's on that day. Now here's the caveat if I'm a student. Now just because I don't see anything for biology on Friday doesn't mean something's not coming up or something's not due. So oftentimes teachers will use announcements or events so that they get on your to-do list. For example, if you see this megaphone here, that indicates an announcement. And so sometimes teachers will say, hey, it's a work day, right? Or, hey, don't forget to get your workouts in, right? So those are important things because they might even link to the assignment themselves for you to remind you what it is you have and what you need to turn in. Now you can always return to your dashboard by hitting this icon on the left. It's actually a speedometer for the dashboard. And then you can always go right into any of your courses here. If you're not seeing a course on your dashboard, you can go to all courses to see every course you have. And then if you have card view, you can dictate which cards show up. Now, if you have list view, that doesn't really matter because you're seeing based on what's due those days, and then you can always scroll up to go back in time, right? And it'll intuitively tell you if it's missing, if you've submitted, that it's complete. You can even override it. So if I've read this announcement and I don't need to see it anymore, I can click that, and then when I refresh and come back later, it would then say marked as complete. So, there's a lot of things. So here now it says show one completed item, and then I could drop it down to remind myself what it was. So this seems to be the view, but you have to kind of remember to kind of go into the future and go into the past so that you're not just kind of getting your blinders on and just focusing on today. You have the ability to add items. So if your teacher isn't putting an announcement in, maybe you should be putting an announcement in, and you can even attach it to whatever course you want so that it's linked to that course. So this is a way for you to be proactive, to organize yourself, and to know when you have to study. So those are all important features, and there's one last view that you might like called recent activity. And again, I don't know how useful this is, but take a look, play around. You can change them at will, and that's one of the things that you can do here. You can also hush some of these items that you'll see, but the problem is they will come back. So it's like the snooze on an alarm clock. You also see recent feedback, which you can get to in a couple other areas as well. So that might be something you. And then this is where you could see if your teacher left you feedback, if they had attached a rubric, as well as what your score was, and then you could even potentially resubmit that assignment. And here's exactly what you submitted, so you could download that. Sometimes it'll actually show in the view for you, and then sometimes if your teacher actually left you feedback, you'd see the ability to see that right there. Right, so there's a lot of really neat features to play around with to help organize yourself, and so keep that in mind as you're playing around and using the system to be the best student you can be, because a lot of what's going to happen for you this year is based on the effort and time you put into your own education, which is going to only make you better. So if you have any questions, you need anything else, please reach out.